Hey, all, Coach Andy here. Great to have everybody. Today, Thursday, live office hours. Got a fun, full session on this November 13th, Thursday. Hope everything is going well in your career. Sun shining. Sun shining at my house. I don't know if you could see it, but man, there's sun everywhere. I hope the sun's on your career as well. And it always is shining bright when you got Coach Andy here. Hey, so get in the chat, say hi. I got a ton to cover with you because Kara and I we weren't really off last week, but we had scheduling conflicts. It seems like a long time since I've seen you. I saw my mom dancing there in the first one on the chat, just like it should be. Andy, what's up? Sharon, how are you? Kay, Susan, David, KKL, what's up? Larry B, John, Trish Berry, how are you? Doug and Candace Bishop, I wonder if you're both here. Hello to whichever one of you or both are here. Glenn, Sharon, everybody else. Great to have you. So today, I do have 5 parts to live office hours. I have a teaching segment. It's going to be on how to talk about yourself and your wins without sounding like you're bragging. That's something that I think is really fun. So if you're going through your performance reviews or you're going through your job interviews, we'll talk about how to get over that hurdle if you don't really feel humble enough. You will when we're done with that. Then I want to show you what I've been adding. They're free booklets every week that I've been adding to my YouTube videos. They're really nice, and I hope you're grabbing them. I'll show you what they are. If you're on my newsletter, I serve them right up to you on Tuesday mornings right before you click on the link for the new video. So that wouldn't it be great if you were on my newsletter list? Third thing we're going to do is I got another story. It's a lesson about why you don't have what you want, why you're not getting what you want, and that's kind of a bridge into I want to talk about tomorrow. I've got a leadership coaching session. We're only going to talk about that for a couple minutes. Then we're going to do the Q&A. So we're going to hit all 5 parts. So buckle up, get in, say hi. Actually, let me change something here on my screen that's a little bit easier for me. There we go. Okay, so truly great to have everybody. Wherever you are in the world, let me know where you're watching from. Put some question marks in front of your questions because we are going to do a nice Q&A when all this is done. Okay, let's see. I think I'm ready to roll. All right, what's today all about? I want to talk to you about performance review. What's today all about? I want to talk to you about how to share your wins without bragging. I know that it's performance review season, which is why you'll be sharing these wins with your bosses and your management team. I also know it's high hiring time, recruitment time. I know a lot of you are job searching and you're going into these interviews. So I want to make sure that you're actually making sure that you shine in them. You're going to lose out on promotions. You're going to lose out on pay. You're going to lose out on credit. You're going to lose out on appreciation. You're going to lose out on job offers if you do not know how to share your wins. It's important. I've got this little saying. I wrote about it in the ZEBRA Code and in every other book I've published, and I talk about it quite often. It's not who you know, and it's not what you know. It's who knows what you know. So we want to make sure that you're getting credit. Now, the first thing I want to tell you about how to share yourself. I have a job interviewing formula that I call my car technique. It's CAAR, so it's like a sedan, not a coupe. And if you just follow that formula and you tell your story that way, it is built so that no matter how you go about it without thinking, you will not sound like you're bragging. And I created a detailed video for you that's free and on my YouTube channel. It's the job interview formula guaranteed to get you hired. I have the CAAR acronym in the title. If you are watching this with me live, Kara can drop that in the chat so you can watch it later. If you're watching this on the recording, I'll put it in the description, as well as I have chapter notes and blueprints and checklists and other things that go along with all of my recorded YouTube videos now. So if you're watching this on a recording, I'll also have that up in the card as well as in the description. So make sure you download that if you're watching this on a recording. All right, so I've got about 4 points that I want to bring to the surface of your mind. The car interviewing technique, for those of you that are in job interviews, you can check that out on your own. And if you go through that formula, you will inherently not sound like you're bragging. But rather than go through that formula again with you, what I want to do is I want to bring these points to the forefront of your mind so that you can think about, if you feel nervous that you're going to sound like you're bragging or you're going to sound like you're not humble, If you can concentrate on these 4 things I'm going to share with you, I think it will fix the way you think about it. I think it will help you. It'll certainly fix your mindset about it, but it'll also help you execute more effectively when you're actually sharing the story. So the first one that I want to bring your attention to is there's a huge difference between confidence versus self-importance. Okay, confidence is, thanks to my experience in doing this 10 times, I understand the best way to build it. That was why I executed the project that saved you 20%. That's what enabled me to do that. That's just a matter of fact. That's being confident about your experience, being confident about what you delivered. When you think about things in terms of self-importance, whenever you are getting into comparison mode, that usually is a recipe for sounding self-important. Well, nobody can do operational efficiency like I can. That's a comparison. Or there's no one on the team that could have done that. That's comparison, right? Instead of talking about how you ran the project based on your experience, what you learned, and being appreciative for the opportunity. So there is a huge, huge difference between being confident about what you did and what you can accomplish versus self-importance. Now, if you're in a job interview, you have the CAR technique to fall on. The CAR technique is designed to make you sound confident, to help them understand that you're a big picture thinker, you understand the blueprint, and because of your working knowledge of how operations work, how systems work, how security works, how accounting works, or whatever it is, you're going to naturally fall into the confident mode rather than the self-important mode, because nowhere in the CAR technique, and I spell all the stages out for you in that video, nowhere will you ever have the opportunity to sound self-important. So I want you to recognize that confidence is attractive. So when you are talking more about your contributions and less about any comparisons, whether absolute or relative, you will sound confident and not self-important. So that's the first thing that I want you to think about. The second thing is we framing. Okay, now let's talk about this from 2 angles. We framing builds credibility. Your credibility and your awesomeness is not diminished by the fact that you lift others up. In fact, I would say the opposite. Now let's take 2 approaches here. For those of you that are in performance review mode, where you're talking with your employer about what you did and what your team accomplished, there's going to be a lot of we going on. Some of you get nervous when you get into job interviews and you're talking about your wins and you say, well, I need to talk about what I did. And that's true. And we can highlight what you did. We can also highlight, if necessary, how others contributed to that. I mean, every week I create a newsletter for you. I write the newsletter, but the newsletter I like to think is good because I have help from Kara. And I'll tell you what Kara is not that I am, is me, right? That's what makes the newsletter better. She can read it. She can review it. I'm proud of that newsletter that I give you every week, but it becomes better because we bring it to you. She's able to look at it more like from your vantage point, from the audience's viewpoint. She doesn't have my perception of how it will be interpreted. She has her own perception of how, or better perspective of how somebody receiving this message might actually feel about it. So she's able to challenge me. Sometimes she makes suggested edits. Sometimes she leaves it. Sometimes she asks me questions. Sometimes she challenges me. All of that goes into one deliverable that we bring to you. That doesn't make me any less proud of the fact that I wrote it and deliver it and am consistent with you and give you one every Tuesday and Thursday morning. So we credibility builds framing. So it's good for you to say, I managed the team. I provided them the instruction. They carried it out, right? There's nothing wrong with that because that's the way the world works, especially if you're a managerial resource or an executive leading a large unit. So I want you to think about this. So the thing I want you to remember to make the we process, especially those of you in your performance reviews, is bringing others up multiplies your credibility. It does not dilute it. So that's the second thing. The third thing is I want you to focus on outcome, not effort. When you start to focus on effort, it sounds more like you're being more self-important, you're being more self-centered. I don't care how difficult it was. I don't care if the market was going down. I don't care if it was snowing outside. I don't care if it took you a year to build the product, right? That's effort, right? You worked really hard. I would rather you bring their attention to the outcome. Here's what happened. Here's how I made it happen. You don't need to be talking about the work environment. It doesn't get factored in because nobody cares, not even your boss. So I want to make sure that you probably have heard me say this when we talk about resume writing, right? I want you to abstain from putting any extracurricular or word vomit in there that talks about anything that the reader, reviewer, hiring official, recruiter, whoever it is, cannot feel. Right? It doesn't make any difference if everybody was performing poorly. All I care about is how you perform. It's kind of like when you got the D on the test and you brought it home and you told mom and dad that everybody got D's and F and they didn't care. It's the same kind of thing. So I want you to become much more output focused. If you stay away from the effort aspect of it, you won't sound self-important. Here, this is just relaying facts to you, right? When I say I helped Sally find a job, that I'm not bragging about it. I'm just stating a fact. If I start going into all the effort it took me because Sally was a hot mess when she came to me, well, that sounds like I'm bragging, right? We don't want to talk about it that way. We might want to talk about the challenges Sally had. You know, she was over 50. She was changing industry. She was changing countries, which presented obstacles that made her challenge more difficult. That's a fact. But not like, oh, I had to draw on all my expertise because I'm the only career coach who understands how to work in that country. That's what I'm talking about. That's a huge difference between the outcome and the effort. So the focus here, the key reminder is impact stories carry the day. Effort stories will make them tune out. All right, so that's number 3. And then the last one I want to hit you with, this is always good, and it's always good, no matter what your environment, no matter who you're speaking to. It is okay to be proud and curious. This will lead them to think you are grateful. Here, there's a huge difference between, I'm really proud of the team and the effort they put in order to get over the goal line. It was challenging, right? I'm glad that we were able to put in a product that was able to sell or whatever it was. I'm glad we were able to redesign the blah, blah, to be able to close, to streamline the closing process to 5 days from 10, right? I'm proud of that. When you're in a performance review, and this is pretty much for those of you that are in performance reviews, when you're talking to your boss or you're talking to your managers, there's nothing wrong with, thank you so much for the opportunity. That project was awesome. I'm really proud of the work that the team and I did, right? And I'd be interested to know how you felt about it. And I'm curious to know if you have any points of feedback that we can channel into our next rendition, iteration, next project, whatever it is. When you approach it this way, you absolutely will sound gracious. There will be gratitude, and nobody is going to fault you for wanting to understand how to get better. That's a person who's remaining a student instead of somebody who thinks they know it all. So this, to me, is always a great point and a great approach and tactic to use toward the end of the discussion. And the key point here that I want to drive home is gratitude will always make you likable. So when I think about the different elements that help me get over the fact that what I'm saying is not being a bragger, but just trying to state facts, trying to help you understand, trying to also demonstrate my track record so that there's credibility, same way I want you to be doing this in your performance reviews and in your job searches. Just think in terms of, am I sounding confident or am I sounding self-important, right? And the clue there to avoiding self-importance is to avoid comparisons. Are you using the we framing properly? So I don't want it to all be buried, especially if you're in a job interview, by we. We need to know what you did, but especially if you're having your performance review discussion, I want you to make sure that you're including, if you manage teams or partners or teammates or internal customers or whoever it might be, the we framing really helps that. This is a big one, the outcome versus the effort. Talk to me about the results. What did you make happen and how did you make that happen? And then the last thing is, as long as you are practicing gratitude, it is okay to be proud and curious. This and curious or and interested element truly, truly shows how thankful you are. And I do think that if you think of things this way, it will be much easier for those of you, even the most humble of you, the ones with the most humility. I think you'll be able to overcome that and make sure you start sharing your wins more effectively. All right, so if you like this portion, make sure you click the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, because it hurts me when you don't get my Tuesday recorded videos and my Thursday live shows. And please share this, because there are people that need help, whether they're going through their performance reviews and they want to get their big bonuses, or whether they're interviewing for a new job. It's hard out there, so please share it. If you're watching this with me live, we're heading to the chat. If you're watching this on a recording, I will see you next week. All right, so that's part one. That was the first 15-minute segment, and I do think I got that in 15. So I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's difficult, because you want to share what you did. I want you to get credit. I want you to be appreciated. But I also want to make sure that, right, you're sounding like somebody that everybody would want to work with. Okay, I want to go into the second little part. This next part is only going to take me a minute. But has anybody show of hands? Can you show me your hands? Has anybody been downloading the booklets for the weekly videos, whether you've been getting them through my newsletter or whether you've been getting them in the YouTube description? Can you show me, or can you show me if you have no idea what I'm talking about? I would love to get a sense of how well my new booklets every week are doing. Can you please tell me that? Okay. Let me know. And while I'm pulling this up, Larry B, man, I was in Whole Foods the other day, man, thinking about you. Okay, let me know if you are getting these, and if not, that's okay. Sharon, I like to know this, because I want to get credit and appreciation for these things that I put together for you that I want you to have that are free. Okay, some of you are getting. All right, so in the videos, so the video that just went out Tuesday, 2 days ago. The video on Tuesday was about how to give a presentation in a job interview. The video the prior Tuesday, so about 9 days ago, was on how do you open up your interview answers, the first 15 seconds. How do you keep their attention, get them pumped up, get them excited about you. So I don't know if you know this, but every morning I spend somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes, and I call it my excellence planning, and I ask myself 5 questions. Some days I only ask myself 1 question. Generally, I ask myself 5 questions. I try to spend a few minutes on each question, and I brainstorm. And one of those questions that I ask, I'm not going to take you through the whole process just for brevity's sake, but one of the questions I ask myself is, what more can I do for my community? Like, what more free events, booklets, eBooks, education, whatever it is. And one of the ideas I had was, wouldn't it be awesome? You know how like there are YouTube descriptions, but no one reads those. There are chapters, like AI generated chapter notes, and some coaches or influencers or whatever, they go and they have somebody chapterize their videos. But I thought, I want to do something even better. I want to create these booklets that break down the talk generally exactly the way I said it, and then also put checklists, tools, and other things. And then if the talk had maybe deeper areas that I wanted to explore, I might even add that as well. So on Tuesday, what I did was I attached this booklet. It's free. If you are on my newsletter list, when I send you an alert at 6:30 a.m. Central Time in the U.S., every Tuesday morning at 6:30, an email goes out. If it doesn't go out, assume your coach is dead, okay? 6:30 a.m. Central Time, Tuesday morning, you get an email, period, hard stop. If you're on my newsletter list and you bother to open it, I send you the video, and then I'm sending you a link to these booklets, and this is what the booklet looked like. So this past Tuesday, I had a how to give a job interview presentation that gets you hired. There's a link. It'll take you to the video. And then I wrote in there, okay, why this matters. Here's all the chapter notes, what they're really buying, the problems, and so on. And then I went through some other stuff, and this was the whole talk. And then I went into your presentation checklist. Before you build it, here's what I want you to do. I want you to design your story, so on and so forth. You get the idea. And what I do so that I can keep up with this and maintain the momentum is I use one of my AI tools to help me generate that from the transcript. So it doesn't take up too much time from me. And I want you to realize that I actually used AI, and I put a note in there to let you know that, because I'm nothing if not honest. And so if you are not grabbing these booklets every week, well, that's just silly. Because, I mean, how awesome is it to have that while you're watching me talk you through it? And so I'm doing it on every video. So grab them. And then I got a couple of really cool ones coming up next week and the week after. So, so far there's 2 of those out, but I'm going to try to do that with every video, that unless it's a 3-minute or 4-minute quickie or something like that. But my 20, 30, 40-minute, 50-minute, hour-long videos, right? It's pretty nice to have all that. Like this video today that we did real time or live is going to eventually make it onto my YouTube channel in a 15-minute clip. And so I'll have the workbook for that. So grab that and get on my dang email list if you ain't on that. Okay, I want to tell you a story, and this is really funny. You wouldn't know this, but I'm actually going to tell you. I had like 4 or 5 stories like I wanted to pick from. I want to tell you a story about why I think you don't have what you want, assuming you would like more, whatever more is. Maybe it's a job. Maybe you want to change careers. Maybe you want to get promoted. You want the promotion. You want some kind of advancement, write a book, whatever it is. And I want to talk to you, and I want to use an analogy from my life about why I think you don't have what you want. Okay, and I'm not saying your life is awful. I'm just saying you want more. If you want more, which I know most people do, and I have my Iron Man cup, one of my Iron Man cups, and so I think I'm going to tell you the Iron Man story. I didn't plan to tell you this one, so we're gonna wing this, but I'm going to get the point across. So, and plus it shares a little of Coach Andy with you. You see that chair right there? This one right here. It was September 2019. So take yourself back to September 2019. I don't know what you were doing, but I was sitting in that chair with my favorite dog ever, Harley, who's been over the Rainbow Bridge, and hopefully I won't start crying. But he was sitting with me, and I had my iPad. I had my iPad, and everything in Coach Andy's life is colorful because Coach Andy doesn't want to ever look for anything. And so I had my iPad on my lap. I had my coffee in hand. It was about mid-September 2019. And we'd started the leadership coaching program. We started that in March of 2019. So it was something new for the year with the Mile Walk Academy. All that was going great. But I was looking and evaluating, reflecting on other aspects of my life. And I'm a big exerciser. For those of you that don't know that, and those of you that do know, I'm a knucklehead when it comes to exercising. But there's only so many miles you can run. And I thought to myself, what else can I do? I need a challenge. Maybe I should be an Ironman. And how hard could it be? People do this every day, don't they? And then I thought to myself, well, that'd be great, except the only thing is that when I get in a swimming pool, I can't make it 25 meters, like one zip across the pool without huffing and puffing. It's not because I'm not athletic or my arms and legs aren't working and all the parts are working. I just didn't know how to swim. I didn't really know how to breathe in the pool. But that would be great, because then I could learn how to do that. And then I'm wondering, I work out 6, 7, 8 hours a week, like an hour a day every day. I'm wondering how much I would have to train. So I kind of glance I get the iPad, I start looking at these training plans. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like 20 hours a week. This is a lot of hours. It's like another 13, 14 hours a week. That's like 2 work days. I got to figure out where am I going to get that time. So a day later, the next day was a Friday, and I went to see my chiropractor, who's my sports doc that I see every other week. I've been seeing this guy forever, for like 20 years. So this is 6 years ago, or 6, 7 years ago, whenever it was. And he's one of the sports doctors for the Chicago Bears, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Bulls, the Sox, and so he's pretty well connected. And I asked him, I said, hey Stuart, I'm thinking about doing triathlons. Do you know any Ironman coaches? He says, actually, one of my friends / patients, Robbie, I should get you connected with him. He used to ride on the U.S. Postal Team with Lance Armstrong, Tour de France, all this stuff. He's got this company called Vision Quest. I'm sure they have Ironman coaches. I'll text you his number. So he did. A couple weeks goes by. I hadn't called Robbie yet. I just was busy. Beginning of October now. And I go to see Stuart again every other week. I get there in the morning, early in the morning, and then I get done with the appointment. He's walking me out. He says, "Oh, Andy, you know what? Robbie's actually out in the lobby. He's my next appointment. I'll introduce you." So I meet Robbie, and we get to talk. And I say, "Hey, I'm looking to get into triathlons, and I don't know how to swim. First order of business is I need somebody who's going to make sure I don't drown in a lake, right? So that I can actually get on the bike in one piece." I said, "I'll call you later today." He said, "Great." So off I went. I came home. I did some work. I started looking for Ironman races that were a year away. And I signed up for one. It's the first thing I did. I signed up for the Ironman. I couldn't swim a lick. I didn't know how I was going to do that. I had absolutely no clue about how I was going to accomplish this. It didn't matter. It didn't matter because the person who was swimming in the lake is not going to be the same person that signed up for the race. So then I get the phone. I call Robbie. He picks up. I said, "Robbie, hey, great meeting you today." I said, "Listen, buddy, I already paid the money. So we're going to make this happen. I need somebody who can get me, across the lake, the ocean, whatever the hell it is, the river, and make sure I don't drown. And I need to start now because I don't know how to swim." So next week, Friday morning, 4:30 in the morning, I'm in the Lake Forest Academy, and I am meeting with Kip, who was at that time my first assigned Ironman coach. I said, "Kip, listen, man, how many of these Ironmen?" You guys, I've done 14 of them. He tattoos everywhere, all these Ironman tattoos. I'm like, okay, I'm in good hands. So every week for the next month, I had a lesson every Friday morning at 4:30 in the morning when the pool opened. And then what happened was I would work on my swimming, among other things, my running, my biking. We started picking that up throughout the week. And every Friday I would go to see him. And then what happened? So I started going through this training, and I realized obviously I was getting better at all of these things because I had a coach who was teaching me. But I want you to pause you for a second. Before I could do any of this, the sound of an Ironman sounds cool, right? Or the sound of owning your own business, or the sound of being a published author. It sounds cool, doesn't it? Except everybody wants to skip the chapters of what it actually takes, right? When you're working hard, you're grinding in silence. No one's paying attention to you. Nobody's applauding. You're questioning your sanity and all the work it's going to take. So the two things that I did before I actually hit the button to sign up for the Ironman race, the first one, was I had to look to make sure that I could create the space in my schedule to do that. Meaning I had to manufacture another 13 or 14 hours and even more, because not only did I need to get the 20 hours because you got two workouts a day, every day, that's nonstop. It's a second job. But then I realized that all the effort that I was going to be putting in, where am I going to put the aches and the pains? Whether that's, and in this case, this story, that's a literal ache and pain, right? Because the body's going to break down. But you might be going through mental aches and pains. So I need to make sure that I know what to do when I have the aches and pains, but me being me, I'm an ounce of prevention kind of guy. So I added a physical therapist for an hour after I saw my sports doc, right? Same, I'd go from him to her, and she will keep everything in order, and she'll prevent me from getting injured. But if I get aches and pains, she'll be able to fix them right away because I'll see her frequently enough. So I added her to my support team. And so when I thought about what it was going to take, I made sure I had created the space. Now, what I want to know from you, and what I want you to ask yourself is, I imagine you're in my situation, pick whatever it is. Maybe you don't have a job, maybe you want the promotion, maybe you want to write the book, maybe you want to open the business. What is your probable, if not absolute certain future you will attain if you continue to do what you've always done? There's no way I was going to cross the finish line if I just continued to do what I was going to do, or if I tried to do it on my own. So when I enlisted the coach, somebody who'd done this over a dozen times, who knew exactly what he was doing, who could write my plan for me because he had a system, he knew exactly what it took and how to monitor me. He knew what forming I needed, meaning the drills, the consistency. He knew what conditioning, and so on. And let me tell you what happens when you do something like that. When you actually engage a coach and get a system and know what to do. I woke up every single morning. I already knew because of the night before, because I could look at my plan. I knew what the 2 workouts were going to be that day. I knew when I was going to swim, or I knew when I was going to bike or run or whatever it was over the course of the next 12 hours. And I knew what I was going to do. I didn't know just what I was going to do. I knew exactly how to do it. Because why? Because he put it all out for me. These 15 minutes are drills. We're going to work on your form. The next 45 minutes, I'm going to put a hole in your heart because we're going to condition you, right? And what happened? Every single day, I woke up, I knew what to do. And what happened with my swimming? Well, my form got better, fast. I could swim faster. I could swim far, like really far, for a really long time. Only because I didn't waste one brain cell or 1 minute thinking about, well, what do I need to do today? What skills should I build? How should I build that skill? What does that look like? He taught me, he showed me, he sent me a YouTube video to remind me, he sent me my video to remind me so that I knew what I was doing. And that's what happens, and you get progressively better. If you have the structure, if you have the system. How many of you, show of hands, just think about this. How many of you know what skills to build? If you're in a job search right now, are you doing it on your own? Do you have a system? Do you have a structure that you're confident that you know what you're doing? The support group is great of people that I want you to talk to because job searching is lonely. But are you getting your counseling from somebody else who's job searching, who doesn't know what they're doing? No, they should be emotional support, not educational support. So who's on your team? The coach you choose, the system you operate within. If you don't have one of these, you're never going to get to where you want to go. If you're job searching, it's painful. That's acute pain. You need a job searching system. Why are you not in my job search coaching program or somebody's job search coaching program? If you have your job, what are you doing? Do you think punching your clock 9 to 5 is going to get you promoted? Maybe eventually. But it's going to take a lot longer, and there's no guarantee. And in 3 years, you're probably going to be looking for another job because you don't like the job you have because you didn't get promoted fast enough. Whose fault is that? Right? Do you know what skills to build? Do you know when to build them? Every single week, the first thing I plan, I pay me first. Before I do anything for you, as much as I love you, the skills go on, they go right here. What skill do I need to build? Do you know what skill I'm building this week, this past week? On Monday, I started sending cold outreaches to authors, coaches, and influencers because I want them to review my book. People I don't know, people that are by somebody's definition famous. 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. Sound familiar? Half of them are getting back to me, asking me for more information. Can you send the manuscript? Who's your publisher? What's your marketing plan? Where's the testimonial going to go? Now I have to write them back and give them all the information. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm working on my skills too. But that was the skill plan for this week. Because why? Because I needed to practice it, because I needed to do it. Okay, next week I'm working on something else. So do you have something like this that actually guides you? Do you want to think about, in your full-time job, do you want to think about what skills you should be building and how to build? Do you know what skill to build? Do you know how to build it? Do you know how to practice it? Do you know how to adjust or how to eventually master it? Well, you're going to need to know the first 4 things in order to get to the 5th level. And this is why I think people don't have what they want, is because they don't put the support structure, they don't get the coach, they don't have the system of whatever the system is, and getting guided by somebody who knows what they're doing, who could watch over them and work with them. And so every single day, here's what happened to me. I woke up. I didn't have to cross a finish line to be an Ironman. I lived it every single day, 2 workouts a day. Day was over, I'm an Ironman. I lived it like that. So I don't chase the success. I don't want you to chase the success. I want you to live in sync with it. But in order to be able to live in sync with it, you need to be doing the work. And if you're not doing the work, you don't just get to call yourself a VP, a manager, an Ironman, an author, a blogger, of whatever. So I need this to register. You could use my system, which I think is great, or pick one, but have one so you can get to where you want to go. All right, well, It means the world to me that you let me share these stories with you. But I want you to understand that if you don't have this structure, you're not going to get what you want. And you're eventually, if you're job searching, you're eventually going to get a job. You will. I have 100% faith that you will eventually get a job. It might be a job you don't like. It might be a job paying half the money. It might be a job you have to move for. But can you give yourself a better system to create better opportunities for yourself? If you already have a job or you want to develop your skills, do you understand what it's like to have a roadmap to know what to do? So I want to share this with you very quickly because tomorrow we're meeting as a leadership group, paying members of my premium leadership coaching program, and I are meeting tomorrow. We're going to be talking about performance reviews. So today was just a little warm up for how to share your wins, but tomorrow we're going, the talk is a full-blown hour of teaching tomorrow on everything you need to do to get in the right mindset, all the information you need to collect, how to package it, how to present it, how to get the feedback, how to implement, all that stuff's tomorrow. And then in December, we're talking about reflection, to look back, to attach proper meaning to the things that occurred, and then 2 days, reflection 1 day, the next day's goal setting. And then the following year, I've got this all laid out. I want to share this with you. Give me a couple minutes. I'll zip through this very quickly as an extension of what I just said to you. So I have a leadership coaching program, but it's all new this week. So it's all new. So if you're familiar with it, it's going to look a bit different. First thing is, we talked about the problem already as an extension of the story. If you don't have a roadmap and you don't have a structure, you're going to stop growing. And you're going to stop growing not because you've peaked. Hey, I was 53 years old when I started swimming. And right now I feel like Flipper, okay? I mean, like I can move, I can motor. But if you don't, that's because I had a coach. That's because I had a system. That's because I understood how to practice and what to practice and what to do when I was feeling great and what to do when I was feeling tired, and everything was in order. If you don't have that, you're going to be stagnant. My solution is the program. I will give you the structure. I will give you the playlist. I will tell you what to do. I will give you the coaching. I will give you all the tools. And I want you to know that inside the tool bag and the processes is I meet with the leaders every single month. And I've been meeting with them every single month since March 2019. And because I've been doing that, and because I've got extra training programs in there, there's 100 video, literally 100, I had to count them. There's 100 videos. There's workbooks. The workbooks go along with the video. The video's all the instruction and the examples and the stories and the steps. It comes with the workbook. It comes with the challenge. The challenge is designed to help you reflect and then actually implement the skill set. And then for a select package, one of the packages, Andy AI comes with the package. And then there's some other exclusive small group bonus coaching. But basically, that's the lay of the land. Now, I realize one thing I really pride myself on is not everybody has time in the middle of the day. Not everybody likes to learn the same way. Not everybody has the same schedule. So I've created what I call different learning paths or tracks for you to be able to get the lessons and the skill sets that you need. There is a brand new ZEBRA Code career track. If you don't know what the ZEBRA Code is, it's my best-selling book on career development, is mastering skills that make you a standout professional. And what I've done is I've created it's actually like a 13 or 14-month journey through the exact same skills that I wrote about in the ZEBRA Code book. You can enroll in that. It's a one and done. If you want to do that, you'll have lifetime access to that product, which will have like 20 lessons in it. So even though it's 12 months, some of the months have multiple lessons. It's really cool. The main backbone or the cornerstone of the leadership coaching program is the core membership. This is an annual recurring membership. It's a one-time enrollment each year that covers that year. And so when you enroll, it covers the year forward, and then you'll renew until you cancel. you get access not only to the entire leadership library of those 100 lessons, but you also can attend for the next 12 months or as long as your membership is active. You can come to all the monthly group coaching sessions, and there's going to be a completely new suite of instruction for 2026. And so that's the core membership. That's very similar to what the annual membership of the leadership program has been historically since I opened it. And then there's a plus membership. The plus members get some extra group coaching, and they also get access to Andy AI. And so many of you that are in my job search curriculum, that are in the job search coaching program, you already have access to Andy AI. So the core membership is probably the way for you to go. So those are different learning tracks. And then what's inside of it, if you want to understand the what you get part, the what you get part is about $8,000 worth of assets based on, if you'd been with me the last 6 or 7 years, we've accumulated $8,000 in assets. You get it all at once. The what I like to think is transformative coaching. Then there's the cost of not acting. So I try to tell people, if you don't get in my job search coaching program, for example, you're wasting $1,000 a week. If you earn $50,000 a year, that's what you're losing out on. If you don't join the leadership program, while this is not a Band-Aid for your career, this is a strategic investment, but this is the accelerant for the raises, the promotions, the enjoyment, the doing your job better, the being more impactful. The more delay that you have as you're trying to middle along with your job, remember, you're going to encounter problems because of skills you do not have, or you could build the skills in the first place to not only eradicate, but probably avoid the problems altogether. So there's a huge cost of delay. So now I want to talk with you about what this could look like and just reintroduce you to the program. So this new page, this is a new video as of just the other day. I talked to you a little bit about this. I talked to you about what's in there already. Now, one of the things I want you to know is the ZEBRA Code track. This is a lifetime, one enrollment lifetime. It's based on my book. If you click here, you will open up a tab, and it will show you that I'm going to give you 5 lessons in the first month, and then I'm going to give you a new lesson every 30 days. Now, the one thing to note about this is these releases will occur each month, but release 1 occurs right away. Release 2 occurs actually 2 weeks later. And then every other lesson, these are all exact to the way the book reads: planning your day, building confidence, developing empathy, trust, networking, communicating, crafting messages, that's message construction, and so on, coaching, mentoring, delegating. That's exactly how the book reads, okay? That is a one and done option. If you join the core membership or the plus membership, 2026 is going to be dedicated to my new book. My new book is done. It's in production with the publisher. And what I've done is I've outlined all the live sessions for 2026. There's a communication and influence track. So when you join the membership, you can come to all of these different lessons. So we'll talk about skill building and what skills you should be building and how to build them in January. We're going to talk about communication and how it starts internally. We're going to talk about how to read the room, understanding externally what's going on. I'm going to teach you how to prepare yourself. I prepare myself at 10:55 every week on Thursday, but I prepare myself all day, every day to make sure that at 11 o'clock on Thursday, I can actually deliver the goods. But I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you message construction, literally 9 sweeps to build any email, booklet, book, document, presentation, status report, whatever it is. And then I'm going to teach you the information that goes in it and how to be influential, impactful, and persuasive. Then I'm going to teach you how to chew out the fat and wasted words that make you sound not as effective as I know you are internally. Then I'm going to teach you how to actually bring it out forcefully, the communication, the style, the cadence. And then we're going to hit body language, in person, on camera. I'm going to help you with building trust. You get the idea. Those are the 12 sessions and personal storytelling. Those are the 12 sessions. And then there is a 100 plus library of videos and so on. So There's a lot of people saying a lot of nice things. You can look out what you get. Andy AI is $199 a month. There's $5,000 worth of video lessons, and then there's another $700 or $800 in bonus training programs. The price tags on these, or should I say the investments, are the Zebra is one and done. It's $249. It starts the minute you enroll, and you're on your own clock, and you can go at your own pace, but I'll be releasing the lessons. You'll get 5 the first month, and then you'll get 1 or multiple every month thereafter until it completely fulfills your product. If you want to be in this annual subscription and you want to join me every month and you want to get all those, the performance review lesson tomorrow, the reflection and goal setting in December, the 2026 schedule that I just showed you, that's $299 a year. There is a discount if you're in the job search coaching program, so you need to email Kara for your discount, but that's the main base. And then the $399, for $399, that's a pretty good deal because you're going to get Andy AI, which is $199 a month, and you're going to get some extra exclusive group coaching in addition to everything that is included in Core. So there's some adjustments. There's a lot of nice people saying a lot of nice things. There's a lot of praise for the program and the book. You get the idea. So, Kara, maybe if you didn't already, maybe pin in the chat the link to the leadership program where they can check that out. If you have any questions on that, I'm happy to answer them. I know I went through that kind of quickly, but I'm happy to answer any questions. You're also going to get an email again about it tomorrow if you're on my newsletter. Otherwise, let's go to the Q&A, and I will be happy to answer your career development questions. Sophia, identifying the skills that I should probably add build next has been very difficult. If you want me to make that very easy for you, there is a very inexpensive way to do it. It's grab the ZEBRA code. If you read the book and you do the skill building plan and the development of your career skills development plan, it shows you exactly how to figure that out. That's $19 on Amazon, or you can email me and we'll ship you one for $19. If you want to get in the leadership program, it's in the skill building lesson that we do every January. And I can teach you, I literally teach you, there's like 10 steps to figure out what skills you should build, which ones pay the greatest ROI, based on your role, based on your work deliverables, based on your goals. And I walk you through chapter and verse, sentence by sentence, of exactly how to do that. Of course, that's in the $299 option or the $249 option. So I'm happy to help you. That's the least expensive way to do it. All right, Amanda, how do you figure out which skills you need to work on? I just said that to Sophia. It's literally, Amanda, I know you have this book. I need you to go, Amanda, to page. It's part 9, draw your own map. Chapter 20, build your plan. And in the build your plan process, I tell you exactly how to choose those. So let me give you an example. I got some copywriting skills, been building them a long time, 10 years to be exact, right? And then some. And even so, any of you play the guitar or the piano or the drums, saxophone? You learn the chords. What? There's more chords. You can make the music better. You can always make the music better. You try different riffs, right? All that stuff. Well, I can write an email. I know how to write an email. I have a skill. But I need to write a different kind of email. But I have a construct to write the email. But I haven't practiced. Do you know how many outreach messages I've sent to people I don't know to ask them to give me a testimonial for my book? Not very many. Okay, well, that takes me practice. That is a copywriting skill of the nth level that I need to be able to create and work on. That is a skill that I need to work on. I was able to identify it, not because I said I just need to reach out to people. No, I have a book. It's going to be out October 6th, 2026. There is a deadline. I have a publisher who says, Andy, I need your back cover testimonials and your advanced praise testimonials and your Amazon testimonials by this date. I got a date. Okay, I'm working backwards. Now, I know that in order to hit that date, I better have better copywriting skills so I can get better results from my outreach messages. It's just an example. All of you, I teach you exactly how to do this. All of you write status reports every week. You need to improve your status reporting. Is it the documentation itself? Is it what goes in it? Is it how you deliver it? Wait, how about this? Andy, I wrote a great status report. Andy, I sound like the best orator in the world when I'm sitting there around the table, and then nobody does anything. Guess what? You need to improve your persuasion skills, your impact skills, your influence skills. But you know what? That might not be what you're saying. It might be your internal frequency. It might be you not reading the room correctly. It might be you read everything correctly, but you didn't know what to say in order to get them charged up to go because you didn't understand what motivates them. That's a human behavior issue. Well, how are you going to figure that out unless you are looking at, well, what needs to be done? I write a status report. I do that every Friday. Okay, that's a goal I need to improve. I got a budget meeting every October, and I really need them to approve my budget. I need to get better at making a better argument. Great. We got time for that one for next year. Right. So you're working backwards from goals. Some of you have goals that are way out. I have one that's a year out, but then I have intermediary goals. I have a goal that's tomorrow. I have to deliver another presentation. So you're using real live targets to drive your skill building behavior, but you're not going to do anything unless you're looking at that saying, do I need to get better at that? Now, let me give you another example of what makes this challenging. In July 1st, 2015, I made a commitment to become a trainer in this capacity, except that I didn't know at that time that I was going to be shooting videos every week. I thought I was going to be writing a blog post every week, give you a download, that kind of stuff. Maybe a podcast or something, maybe audio podcast. And then I needed to get on video because this was a way to better engage with you, help you learn better. The modality, you can hear it, you can see it. I could give you the downloads and so on. I didn't know one thing about cameras. I didn't even have a camera, literally. And I knew nothing about YouTube, and I knew nothing about a whole bunch of other stuff. And so that was, I didn't have the skill. I didn't want to build the skill. However, my mission to help you find a job you love and thrive in it required me to build a skill that I didn't have. Now, you don't need to build every skill you don't have. You need to look at the level of importance. How vital is that skill to you achieving your mission, to you achieving your goal? I needed to learn how to swim, otherwise I was going to drown. So I have to learn it. How do I learn it? How do I learn it fast? And so I use my deliverables. So 3 months from now, we're going to have another job searching workshop. 3 months. Between now and then, I'm going to work on skills. You might not notice the difference, but I'm getting this much better every show. I'm getting this much faster, or it's that much easier, you don't even know it. I could put that whole talk in my head and not need a note. That's improvement. What about the speed in which I pull together the presentation? You don't see that. But if I can do it in 5 minutes and not 50 minutes, I'm better. So I'm using real live deliverables, and I'm building the skills that coincide with the timetable. You all have bosses, you all have jobs, or if you're not in a job, you will. And if you're not in a job, I would be building the skills that are going to make you do your job better. So if I'm in sales, I got organizational skills, analysis skills, human behavior skills, psych skills, right? Sales skills, rebuttals, and so on. Part 9, Chapter 20. All right. How you guys doing? Everybody with me so far? How's the chat doing? How's the chat doing? Give me a hey. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Rucat? My problem with job interviews is that I never kept a scorecard of my wins. I can't remember or point them. I just did my job and got paid. Okay, Rucat, there is a tracking your career wins live show that I did about a month ago. And I know, because Kara is the most awesome person ever, that she's going to be able to track that down and put that in the chat for you. And that's what I would suggest. Go back and reflect. I walk you through the steps of how to do that. It's a live show I literally just did, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago. All right. Sophia, will there be changes to the existing bootcamp membership? No, it just keeps getting better and better. We just keep having more and more coaching sessions. I think the next ones are the 10th and the, 7, 8, 9 and 10. December 9 and 10. Interview coaching. 4-part car workshop for you. Gemma, where you been? Yes, the Apollo people, you don't need to pay for anything ever again. Isn't that the best? Because you all wanted to pay one time and you didn't want an annual subscription. You get all that. You get all this. You're gonna get a talk tomorrow. I'm gonna help understand, and then I've got a 4-part email series that breaks everything down for you to get refamiliarize yourself, understand all the upgrades we're making, and then and then walk you through everything. And you get all of that. All right, wait, you are kidding me, Care. You guys have no question, no career questions, no job search questions, no nothing? Is this thing on? Come on, man. Hit me with stuff. Guys want me to pull up a dog or two? Oh, my little baby Starla went to the hospital and the vet on Tuesday. All right, come on. I'm going to wait because I know you're going to give me some questions. You don't have any questions? You got to be kidding me. LaCivita fangirl, that's like my new favorite handle. I'm waiting. You take as long as you want. What do you do right before an interview? Chantel. Love that question. Can we give Chantel a $500 course for asking that awesome question? Chantel, I hope that, or it's Chantel Pearson. I'm giving you a $500 program. You could take the job search challenge. You could take the resume writing workshop. You could take the LinkedIn workshop. You just tell me what you need and we will give that to you for free because that is an awesome question. All right, number 1, I have, and you're going to read about this in the new book, I have a pregame that I do before I do any kind of communication. So number 1, tip 1 is I want you to have a ritual. It's a ritual. Wait, please do me a favor, not to be too melodramatic. Write it down, RITUAL. It's not a routine. A routine is a mechanical thing. A ritual is designed to make you perform better at an elevated level. Some people, let's not quibble. Some people say, I got to go through my routine. They're really going through a ritual. Okay, so I go through a ritual every time we do a live talk. What I was doing actually it was about 10:50 today, so 10 minutes before this started, I sat down on over here, you can't see it, but there's a love seat right here. And I sat there and I thought about all of you. And I said, okay, I want to give them the show. They're struggling. The market stinks right now. It's harder than, this job market's hard. And this job market is hard because it's confusing. And like in 2001 and in 2008, like those meltdowns, it was plain as day what was going on. And COVID, that was pretty easy to understand what was happening. This market's totally different. And it's very confusing and they're struggling and they're trying things and they're emotionally breaking down. I'm going to get asked similar questions. I recognize that. I've got, maybe people who've never seen me before. I wonder what drew them to me. I know God brought them to me. And I go through what I call empathy reminders. And so what it does is it intercepts my own automated way of thinking. And the reason that I want to do that is because I don't want to carry into this show anything I'm dealing with. Okay, meaning you don't care about my testimonials of the book, right? It might be fun for you to know, but that should in no way affect my ability to deliver for you. Okay, so what happens is I stop my automated way of thinking and feeling, and I focus on you. and I focus on you and I do my best and I'm human, but believe me, this makes it a heck of a lot easier for me to be focused on you when I've just reminded myself for 7 minutes about your situation, not what I'm dealing with or whether I'm tired. Okay. So I get in the frame of mind of I'm walking into an interview. So how does that affect you? I'm walking into an interview. I want you to write this down. I don't know if I'm going to get them all because I'm going to do this off the top of my head and I wasn't prepared to say this. You're going to go into an interview. Okay. What is the absolute best things, outcomes that can happen? Write these down, folks. Number one, what's absolutely going to happen? I'm going to meet somebody, right? 1 person, 2 person, 3 people. Okay. I just increased my network. Don't worry if they give you a job or not. You're going to add them. There's no stopping you. It's inherent. Okay. I'm going to get a chance to practice my communication skills. Boom. Nice. I'm going to get a chance to get feedback, meaning an observation, even if I don't get actual feedback on what I'm doing. I'm going to understand the possible questions I might be asked and answered. I might be able to use that information to then evaluate different ways a future employer could ask me those questions and be ready the next time, if not this time, on how to answer them. Right. Okay. And you can keep going. I get a chance to send a thank you note. What's that? A chance to practice my copywriting, communicating, whatever, right? And I'm making a list of everything that I want as an outcome. And I talked about this the last time we were at live office hours. I said, make a list at all of the benefits and experiences and skills you want to build as a result of having a job search. If you're going to go through the experience, I want you to gain the benefit of the experience, and you are likely going to gain it based on having a list of things you are absolutely certain you're going to learn. I told you about the book, and the book's a year away, and all I did was think about the agony I was going to endure over the course of the year. So if I'm going to go through the pain, I want the gain. So I wrote down all the things I need to learn this year between now and October 6th, and beyond that, of what I'm going to learn through this book effort. I want you to do the same thing for your job searching. And then when you go into an interviewing, that's a microcosm of the overall search. Now, you might have thought I was going to say, oh, prep your stories and this and that. If you're doing that right before the interview, you're totally hosed, okay? I'm not even, let's just not mince words. If that's what you're doing 5 minutes before an interview, you're cooked. You may as well not show up. So I want you to have a ritual where you go in, right frame of mind. These people need me. They have a hole. I can fill it. It's my job to sell them on how I'm going to fix or transform them. That's an opportunity. That is a luxury. That is a gift. Even if you don't think employers are great and they ghost you and all, it doesn't matter. You're there. If you go in thinking this way, look, the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. It is an exact reflection of what's going on up here. It doesn't know good or bad. So why not wire it that way? I walk around all day thinking, God, how am I, right? How's everything work out my way? Because at the end of the day, when I reflect, I even write down the stuff that didn't happen that's a total victory. I didn't get sick. I didn't break anything. My dogs are healthy. My wife's healthy. I got a hot meal coming. Those are all wins too. So if you think about this way, I guarantee your results are going to change. Just the stuff around you is going to change. The people are going to feel it. They're going to feel it. Somebody asks, how are you so energetic when you show up on every Thursday? I'm like, I just told you. I love my mission and I practice. I practice being happy. So, I love that. Okay, what else we got? I see a few more dribbled in. Peter Lee, what's up? Chantel, make sure you get that gift, baby. Come on. Chantel, you know what? I'll throw you a year of the leadership program if you want that. It's $300. Okay. Peter Lee, how you doing, buddy? As a production support expert, I consider most of what I do just applying common sense and fixing very simple problems. How do I make that sound sexy? So first thing is, common sense is not always common practice. And the first thing that you just did right there, Mr. Peter Lee, I'm going to give it to you straight, is you totally undervalued yourself. And I'm not going to leave you there because that doesn't do you any good. The reason we undervalue ourselves is because we think everybody knows what we know, because we can't remember what it's like not to know what we know. Okay. I would like to think that none of you know as much about job searching as I do. Why do I think that? Because otherwise, why would you show up here Thursday? No, you're showing up because you think I have something to offer. All right, well, your employer hires you because they think you have something to offer and a great way of executing it. Or even if they know what you know, maybe you can do it faster. Right, so common sense is not always common practice. The canyon that you think is the overlap of what you know and I know is really this much. So you need to step back, and the reason that you undervalue yourself is because you think about what you know in terms of the value to you, okay? Instead of, how does what I know, how can that help someone else? The value of your experience, the sexiness, isn't in what you know or why you know it. It's how it can help someone else. And so when you reframe and reshape the way you look at your experiences and make them about the value to somebody else, do you have any idea what it's like to be me? I've known how to job search forever, right? Okay, so what am I doing? I'm constantly looking for new ways to teach you the same things in different stories and using different analogies and different techniques to make your life as easy as possible, so that I, as fast as possible, can share what I know so that my decades of experience can be channeled into your life in a minute. Okay, well, that's a challenge. So it doesn't have to be sexy. It needs to be valuable. So that's how you do that. And if you, Peter Lee, I believe you are in the leadership program, and forgive me if I know you're a boot camper. If you are in the no, it's in both. Okay, you are in the job search coaching program at a minimum. I have the power of your personal story is a bonus in, I think, the resume writing workshop. If it's not there, it's in your library somewhere. The library's big, I know, but it's there. And if you're in the leadership program, it's the power of your personal story. And if you're in an interview and you're wondering how to make it sound sexy, it's the car technique. And there's not one of you that I can't make look like a model, like sexy model in storytelling. That's a great one. Bridget, will Andy AI grow tired of me if I ask it the volume of questions I want to? No. Andy AI is just like in real life, Andy, tireless. Kelly Kennedy Lapping, what's up? This question is just what I need. Kelly, you know what? You all, Kelly, thank you. You all don't know how much that means to me. You know, like, I don't watch the chat like Kara's watching it so she could moderate. I'm going to watch every minute of this show. I'm likely going to watch it over my lunch hour or my lunch break or whatever. And I might not be able to watch all of it, but I'll watch all of it today, and I'll watch it again probably over the weekend. And I watch it with the chat on. So I don't watch it until YouTube makes sure that it's recorded and the stream is recorded with the chat and everything so I could see it. And I read all of them because I look for what's resonating with you. I look for questions that if I didn't get to them, was that a great topic we should do, or should I answer it next time, or whatever. So I appreciate that. Glenn, what's up? I'm a 23-year federal government employee in the information technology field. Where do I start job hunting and networking skills? Building job hunting and networking skills. Okay. Easiest way for you to do that in the free domain, I have a job search playlist on YouTube, and I have a series of networking videos on how to network during your job search, assuming that that's what you meant. I also, inside the ZEBRA Code, have many communication lessons and a networking chapter as well. That's another inexpensive way to get that. Kara can put I don't know, just put the Amazon link to the book in the chat for people who are interested. And then when you talk about skill building, for any of you that are job searching, the natural the natural byproduct of you doing the activities that I want you to do, meaning you're not filling out applications, you're actually targeting people, you're targeting bosses, you've got copywriting skills you're developing, you're leaning on my templates that I'm giving you through the free domain in YouTube, or if you're in the boot camp, we give you more detailed templates and tools and techniques. But each day, part of what you're doing, I don't want you to mindlessly write the cover letter. I want you to go through a ritual, okay, going back to that technique, and think about, well, who's this person I'm sending this to? What is it that they're going through? What issues might they need help with? And so the reason I'm giving you this example when you asked about job hunting and networking skills is I have videos that will help you execute this more effectively. But what I want you to do is I want you to absolutely soak up what you're doing and be mindful of the person you're targeting, the resume you're writing, how it's going to illustrate how you're going to help transform them. When I used my swimming example, the first 15 minutes, 10 minimum, sometimes 20, they were drills that put my body in order, that made me feel what right was supposed to feel like. And I would use either tools if I needed to make sure that my head was in a certain position, or my arms were in a certain position, or my torso or my legs or whatever it was. And once I practiced and knew this was the right sensation, then I went into the heavy lifting, the workout, the conditioning. It's the same kind of thing with you. Are you checking the template? Are you checking the principles? Are you understanding why it goes in this sequence? That's learning. That's building a skill. That'll help your email copywriting. I can't wait for you to get the new book. I give you chapter and verse on every aspect of communication you could possibly need for the rest of your life. I give you templates, I give you formulas, I give you everything. It's the best piece of work I've ever created. I'm just so excited, and I just can't believe you got to wait 11 months. All right, Keith Halverson, what's up? Andy, used your pre-written introduction yesterday. Love it. And they were stunned at how much I covered in 60 seconds. Dude, I give you a high five. I'm so glad for you. And I love to hear it. I love it. Larry B, targeting boss hunting, suggestions on how to adjust positions if not getting a good response rate. Okay, so first thing I would do is tuck this away you might have seen this already, but in session 5 of the job search challenge, that's a separate product. There's a whole troubleshooting video. It takes you from the macro level to the micro level. So what I want you to do is, all right, am I targeting the right kind of companies? Did you do your company segmentation? Am I targeting the right companies based on my background? Am I targeting the right unit? Am I targeting the right boss? Okay, so you're kind of going through the pecking order. Is my cover message highlighting and resonating how they're going to transform because I have the skill sets they need? Okay. Does my resume show that? Are the highlights in order? Am I bringing their attention to things that they would care about? Right. You're going through a pecking order. And then what you're doing is, did I try email? Did I try LinkedIn InMail? You're going through a different series, but I without knowing so when you say, I don't have a good response rate. So what sometimes what people do is they come and they have a coaching session with me and they say, well, my boss hunting's not working. I've sent 12 messages. I'm like, 12 messages? Go back a month and come back and see me in a month. I need you to send 60, 70. I need it sectioned. I need it segmented. I need you to be able to draw a pattern within a pattern. So, I've said this a number of times that, I've had sessions where people will come to me and say, Andy, I had 50 of these. I only got 5 responses. And then I say, okay, it looks like one big bucket. Let's chop it up. Hey, you sent 10 to these kind of companies, 10, 10, 10, 10. Well, 5 of these 10 all responded to you. These 40 didn't. So what's happening is you got a real hot zone over here. Maybe you're more qualified over here and that's confusing you, but maybe that market is not doing as well, or it's saturated, or it's going down, or they don't have that department. So you've got to go through a number of steps. Let's see. What do we got here? I'm trying to. I got 2 minutes left. Let me see if I could get. I'm just looking at, man. You guys. Then you started to flood. You started to flood. Okay. Okay. There's a bunch of questions here. I'm gonna pick one that I think is on everybody's mind. Okay, so Linda is asking a bit of a random question. There's nothing random about this, Linda. It's a good question. I know the job market is tough right now, but are you seeing any indicators for a shift in 2026? Okay, so let me answer this 2 ways. And this is a really good one. This is a really good way to think. And I know I've taught you all this before, but I also realize I have a lot of content and it's very hard to find messages like what I'm about to tell you. So I look at aspects of the world that I feel will never change. Okay. So when I look for what I want to do as a professional, I look at what will never change. Okay. So let me give you an example of what I mean. I just wrote a communication book. Okay. I'll release the title as soon as it's up on Amazon, but communication will never go away. Okay, like we can get AI tools, we can get advanced technology, but as a human, you're going to need to talk. You're going to need, right, to communicate with others in a certain way, whether you're writing, and even if you're writing it and you're having another tool write it, you still need to know how to communicate effectively so that it sounds like you. You're eventually going to have to talk to somebody. So I want to write a book that will be ageless and timeless. I write a communication book. Okay. Now, when I look at what won't change, I think about yourself for a second, okay? This is literally how I think and the evolution of how I would want you to think. I will sit in my little sunroom there and I will think about what makes me happy. And I'm talking about, like, is there ever a time in your life, this morning, I had to exchange some clothing. Okay, because like I don't go into a store, so I got to order it on the internet. And 4 of the pieces were a little too big. So I had to exchange the clothing. And never, not ever in my life or for the rest of my life, do I not want the next smaller size in my hand right now. Human behavior says, I want it right now. Is there ever going to be a moment where humans don't want something fast? Okay, they always will. If they go in a restaurant, is there ever a time when they're not going to want a delicious meal? No, always. It'll never change. Okay. I took one of my dogs to the vet a couple of years ago, 4 days before she died. On that morning, I had no idea she was sick. And then I raced her I wanted to race her to the vet. Because it was a holiday. I get on a computer screen, right? Pulled up their website. I'm looking and I'm like, I can't get an appointment. What should I, I'm not sure what to do. It's a holiday. I call them up. They say, yeah, you can come in and wait. The wait time will be long, or you can go into this system, give me your name, your phone number, the pet's name, where you live, and a bunch of other stuff. And what we'll do is we will text you when to get in the car and when to come here. Okay, great. So we wait around. I work a bunch, right? It's holiday, but I'm still working. About 4 hours later, I get the text. Get Ginger in the car. Off we go. Bang. Get right there. In we go. Right? Busy hospital. Like I said to my wife, I got to figure out what software they're using because I want to invest in that software because people will always value their time. Okay. So why am I telling you this? Because number one, you want to focus in industries that focus on products like this. It will never change. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you look for the connections. What do I mean? The minute COVID hit, I sat in the chair and I thought about the industries that were going to crush it. But then I thought about my finances because I'm like, the market's going to melt down. So I'm going to need to take the money and I'm going to need to reallocate the money. And where am I going to put the money? Like, People can't leave the house. They need shipping. Amazon stock. Buy more. What does Amazon need? Amazon needs paper, cardboard, baggages, plastic. Buy all those companies. Stocks going up and up and up and up like that. So I look for who are the leaders in whatever and what do they need. Okay? And as long as you're doing that, you'll be able to see around the corner. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. If you're a hospitality person and it's 2019, you don't know in the next year your life's going to change because nobody can leave their house. That's catastrophic. But right now, a lot of companies are doing really well. It's the hiring and the employment aspect of it that's confusing. So there are pockets of all of these things that are thriving. Look there. That's where I'm looking. So if you say, well, Andy, I'm a technologist and I've always worked in hospitality, but go to wherever. The finance stocks are like going through the roof right now. I own Goldman Sachs and all these other stocks that are, rise. Like, okay, what's working? If the stock is going up, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're hiring because their profit margins could be going up. But usually there's a relationship. So when I think in those terms. What is here to stay? It will never change. What is the connection points? We're all connected. Companies are connected. Individuals are connected. Skill sets are connected. And I'm always looking for what I think will work. And so everything that you do, I would focus it in on, ask yourself the question, how does this product make businesses better? Or how does this product make people happier, right? Because some are business to business and others serve a consumer. And that's how I think about it, Linda. And so there are a lot of areas that are thriving right now. And then there's a lot that are, kind of meandering. Then you have weird things like this government shutdown and how that displaced a lot of people or how it's shutting units down. But I'm coaching people who've worked for USAID and some of these other, I don't know if she's here, we had a session a week or two ago, or other federal arms, and they have really valuable skills. And then it's understanding how those skills will align based on where you want to go. And I coached a woman, she gave me 2 or 3 aspects, interests of the kind of things she wanted. And I thought about it. I came up with a plan for her before we met. I identified the 5 areas of company types that I thought she should go to. I went into my AI tool and I said, okay, I've got this client. This is her background. These are where she wants to go. This is what I think. What do you think? And then it came back with, we think what you think, Andy. I was like, that makes sense. And then it gave me, the AI tool gave us all the 200 companies. I had it all laid out for her before we started based on and position type. Here's how your federal position translates to the commercial industry or philanthropic or think tanks or whatever, all the breakdowns that I had. And then she had a packet before we even started because the tool was able to help me do all that in seconds. But I guided it. But you have assets at your disposal now that make job searching a lot easier, the mechanics of it. But again, you're still going to need the communication skills. I'm not worried about if AI takes over resume writing. Why? Because that's the basketball. I need to teach you how to play offense and defense, right? The interviewing, the communication. I can just interview coach if I want. I could just do that. Or I can help you with your aspirations. But that's how I think. And so if any of you are at a crossroads, or if you're feeling stuck in your job search and you're not getting hits with the companies you think you should, perhaps augment your list based on what I just said. Can you step back? If you can't see it, step back further. It'll happen. All right, Linda, that was a great one. I think maybe that was a lesson in and of itself. I got to roll, folks. I think I'm 8 minutes over, but I was having so much fun. I thought we were going to finish like 5 minutes, 20 minutes early because you guys ran out of questions. Don't do that to me. That hurts. I need questions. I live for your questions. Okay. Leaders, I'm going to see you tomorrow. We'll go up over performance reviews, and then we're going to go over your souped up leadership program. Any of you that would love to join. Now, one thing I might not have been clear. Anybody who joins this, the leadership core over here, or the leadership plus, you get the ZEBRA code free. I mean, that just comes in the packet because it's all available to you, because these ZEBRA code lessons are inside the leadership library. So all of the people that are in the existing program right now get the ZEBRA code. I'm going to explain to you how to get all that. And then you're all converted to core. And if you want the plus, then you got to let us know. Cool? All right. You know I loves yous all. Lots of luck on your searches. Let's see. Next week is the 20th. Kara, do you happen to know what our topic is next week? I think it's pretty awesome. I'm actually, you know what? Let me look really quick. The topic next week. Whoa, come on. The topic next week is interviewing for value, not your skills. Oh boy. Awesome. Okay. Love you lots. I'll see everybody. I'll see my leaders tomorrow. I'll see I'll see my leaders tomorrow. Everybody who I don't see tomorrow, you have a great weekend. Tuesday in the inbox. If you're not on my newsletter list, not only does that hurt me emotionally, but it hurts your career. Get on my list. All right, we'll see you soon.